beer flour. I wanted to come out and just say beer flour. It just sounds right. You know? You may not know what it is, but you know you want to find out. This team, they came in guns a-blazing, knew exactly what they wanted to do, and they're doing exactly what we should be doing at Presidio, which is they are closing the loop and they are turning waste into a valuable product. And I'm absolutely proud, I know Bo is too, to introduce our final team, ReSourcery.
Beer flour, a super grain power flour harvested from craft breweries that delivers high protein, high fiber, and high impact nutrition.
By showing my students that it's okay to create an experiment in the kitchen by using products like beer flour, it opens up a whole new world of flavors and tastes and textures that you don't get just from using white flour. As a chef, we're trained to use everything. So as a home brewer, when you see 20 or 30 pounds of grain that's just being thrown away, the grain still has flavor, it's got texture, it just makes sense to use it in beer flour.
What I love about cooking is the ability to feed myself and my family with really wholesome ingredients. I'm looking for things that are healthier than the standard recipe might call for. So when I'm looking for new ingredients, I'm looking for something that will really enrich the flavor without making it feel like less of a treat. What I really like about beer flour is that it shares those values. It's healthy, it comes from a sustainable source, and it really tastes good.
When I exercise, it's really important to me that I have food that can keep up with me. I experiment with recipes all the time, and that means using ingredients that help me take things to the next level. When I discovered beer flour, it was like finding a long-lost running buddy. It's something to help me push through and go the distance. I love this stuff.
So, we are enlisting you to help us take this simple ingredient and turn it into a planetary movement. Beer flour. Are you ready?
We are at the forefront of a food revolution. Today, 40% of all food in the US is wasted. Now, we aren't just talking about wasting the resources that it took to grow this food or the calories that this food might have provided. We're talking about wasting a tremendous business opportunity. This is precisely why we created ReSourcery. At ReSourcery, we're obsessed with finding latent value at the end of food supply chains and creating ingredients that have the capacity to transform our food system. And we've already started by making food from beer. Why are we making food from beer? It turns out that the beer brewing industry creates a massive amount of edible waste. For every 6-pack of beer we drink, 1 pound of grain is left behind. That's because only the sugar in the grain is used to make beer, and the rest of the grain is considered spent. But what's left in that grain is a richness of protein, fiber, and calories, something we think you'll agree is worth saving.
As Americans, collectively we consume 6 billion gallons of beer each year. It's a lot of beer. To save you the mental math, the amount of grain left over would yield more than 34 loaves of bread for each person in this country. Or, to put it in sweeter terms, that's 1,362 cookies for each of us. And as we've discovered by putting it to the test, there's so much more that you can do beyond bread and cookies. 4 years ago, Dan, our CEO, started making snack bars from the grain left over from the home brewing process to test the concept. Now that hunch, that beer grain could be put to good use, has turned into a wave of excitement from front page articles in the San Francisco Chronicle, the building that you're in right now, to purchase orders across the country. But even a very big bar business can only move the needle so much. So we're here with a bigger vision, beyond bars. Our goal is to introduce a new ingredient with mass market appeal, one that reduces waste while introducing a new sustainable source of nutrition, an ingredient we call beer flour.
Beer flour, a high protein, high fiber, and high impact ingredient, ready to take on every aisle of the grocery store. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's unpack why this ingredient is so unique. Ounce for ounce, beer flour has the same protein profile as almonds and 3 times as much dietary fiber of oats. It can be used in similar amounts as whole wheat flour and at much higher ratios than any other alternative flour. And it blows them all away in terms of planetary benefit. How does it taste? That will be for you guys to decide. Beer flour will be used in different products, starting from baking mixes to ready-to-eat packaged foods. We will start by selling this ingredient in consumer-friendly 2-pound bags that will be priced at $5.99, which both supports a healthy margin and is cost competitive for the category. We are targeting national retail distribution, starting from direct-to-consumer to direct-to-retail to large distributors that will take us everywhere else. The best part is that these classic food distribution channels are just the beginning for beer flour.
We're confident that the beer flour consumer brand will grow into a multi-million-dollar business on its own, but we're even more excited about the potential offered by strategic partnerships with chefs, food service, and food manufacturers who will start using beer flour as an ingredient in their supply chains. Now, this is not just a hypothetical. There are food manufacturers today testing beer flour that would be interested in placing wholesale orders if we only had the capacity to fulfill them. For example, Back to the Roots, a food startup based in Oakland, California, is interested in using beer flour in one of their cereals. Volume for this cereal would start at 20,000 pounds per month. The only problem? We currently produce flour at a bootstrapping scale, which is both labor-intensive and expensive. And in the flour business, volume is the key to a profitable operation. So that brings us to why we're here in front of you. We're seeking $500,000 in investment to cover our first year of operations and invest in the equipment that we need to dry the grain after we harvest it from the breweries, which is the only unique step that can't be outsourced to a co-packer. This also has the greatest potential for proprietary development. Looking forward, we're thrilled to announce that to develop this technology, we've officially partnered with the USDA, who will be developing a patentable technology with us to dry this grain at scale that can grow with us as we grow. But your investment, that'll get us the production capacity to produce 500,000 pounds of beer flour in our first year. Now, if we were to only sell half of that, which could easily be accounted for by one strategic partnership, we would break even on your investment in the first year. Considering the billions of pounds of grain that are used each year by the brewing industry, this business truly has enterprise scale potential.
Now, to launch beer flour, we've assembled a stellar team of resourcers, complete with talent and vision. I'll be leading business development. As a sustainable food strategist, I currently advise some of the largest food service companies in the country. Daniela, our chief of community, has public and private sector expertise, growing and keeping teams together. Marketing wizardry will be handled by Nick, a veteran multimedia entrepreneur. And Udi will have operations covered. He currently oversees flour production at one of the fastest growing food companies in the world. And as previously mentioned, Dan, our CEO, is already fighting food waste through entrepreneurship. To add to our quiver, we've surrounded ourselves with a core group of advisors that will provide the guardrails to keep us on track. So, this is ReSourcery. You've just met the team. You've learned how we're going to take on every aisle of the grocery store, starting with your pantry. We invite you to take this journey with us, whether it be by becoming a loyal customer or writing us a check. We're calling for your support. If you find this proposition compelling, we'd love to talk. Together, we are inspired to build a business that will thrive by enabling our urban ecosystem to do more with less. This is the future, and we wholeheartedly believe that it represents a delicious business imperative. Don't just think about it, chew on it. Thank you.